So there's always that one team that throughout the shuffle of the NBA history is always forgotten about. And, it's due to, certain situations, like maybe the team didn't accomplish what they wanted to win a championship, or they didn't make any type of significant impact on the league that was lasting. So there's a lot of teams like that, a lot of players like that as well. So the team I want to talk about is the 89-90 Portland TrailBlazers that feature Clyde Drexler, Jerome Kersey, Terry Porter, Kevin Duckworth, Buck Williams. Great team. Went to the championship, lost to the Pistons in 5 games, had a great season. I believe they won 52 games. And they also had Drazen Petrović on that team. So let me clarify, who Drazen is for people who don't know who he is. He was a scorer, he was a shooter, one of the best players to ever play the game. But the problem was, when he was on the Blazers wanted to use him differently that he's accustomed to. Portland wanted to use him as a spot-up shooter, spread the floor, and Drazen, on the other hand, he knew he could contribute to the game. He knew what he can do, what he's capable of. So he wanted to have the ball in his hands. He wanted to create offense, which, Drazen, he came from a decorated career in Europe. He knows what he can do. He's better than just being a spot-up shooter in the league. So, they butted heads. Adelman and Drazen didn't play. Threatened to go back to Europe. Eventually, he went to the Nets. He did his thing. Nets got his jersey retired, number 3. But unfortunately, Drazen was killed in a car accident. And so that pretty much ended, what we could have seen from him, as opposed to the small sample size we got to see. But Portland had 2 Hall of Famers on that team, 2 Hall of Famers, and they didn't utilize them. They did not use them how they should have used them. And back in the 80s and the 90s, positions really mattered back then. So when a player's listed as shooting guard, you already have a star shooting guard on the team, they're not going to play 2 shooting guards together, pretty much. As opposed to today, they play, teams is throwing out 2 3-point guards, like the Thunder got 3 point guards in their finishing lineup. Teams wasn't doing that back then. They didn't believe in that. So Drazen was a shooting guard, Clyde was a shooting guard. Terry Porter was a point guard, so stacked backcourt. And that was another reason why, they probably became 5 minutes for him. But, basketball players know. You throw players on the court, they'll figure it out. Just like, Wade and LeBron, they pretty much had the same playing style, always had the ball in their hands to create offense and create for others. They figured it out eventually. Drazen was a shooter, Clyde was a slasher. You could have figured it out. So Portland really dropped the ball on that one. They really could have had 2 Hall of Famers on that team who could really do something together. And it's rare to find Hall of Famers in the league that's playing together already during the 80s and 90s, because outside of Boston, LA, Chicago, Detroit, Utah, how many Hall of Famers do you have on a team? 2. Detroit, LA, Boston, that's the rare case when you had 3 or 4 Hall of Famers on the team. Chicago had 3 when it was in their peak of their powers. Utah had 2. But back in the 80s, it was like LA and Boston. That's it. Detroit got those last 2 years in the 80s and the early 90s. But Portland had a chance to do it. Had a chance to win a title. And they had the keys on their team already. They had the pieces, but they didn't know how to utilize what they had on their bench. So that's one of the biggest what-ifs throughout the history of the NBA. What if Drazen and Clyde would have actually played together in their prime and actually would have been utilized correctly? Rick Adelman really messed that up. They should have figured that out. It's like, damn, really? 2 Hall of Famers in the 80s? That could have been championships right there.